Your cat is asleep on the couch. Fine, normal, nothing to see here. Then one night, without any warning, without any reason you can point to, they climb up and curl into a tight little ball right against your feet. Not your lap, not the pillow next to your head, your feet. And the next night they do it again and again, until it becomes the new normal, and you're left staring at this small sleeping creature, wondering what changed. Here's the thing. Cats don't choose sleeping spots by accident. Every surface, every corner, every warm patch of blanket is a decision. And when that decision suddenly shifts toward your feet, something in your relationship with your cat has quietly changed too. Most owners assume it's just about warmth. Feet are warm, cats like warm things. End of story. But animal behaviorists will tell you that's only a small piece of something much bigger. The real explanation touches on trust, territory, scent, even the way your cat's ancient instincts are still running quietly in the background of their brain, thousands of years after domestication. So let's actually figure out what's going on down there at the end of your bed. Start with temperature, because it really does matter, just not in the way you'd think. Your feet are often the coolest part of your body while you sleep, but they still radiate steady heat, and they move. Cats are drawn to subtle motion and warmth combined, which is part of why blankets that shift slightly, or a foot that twitches during a dream, can be more appealing than a still, flat pillow. Veterinarians often observe that cats gravitate toward these small pockets of warmth rather than the center of a bed, because the edges of a mattress near your feet tend to hold consistent temperature without the risk of being rolled on. But temperature alone doesn't explain why this happens suddenly. In cats who've slept somewhere else for months or years, something else is going on. Cats are territorial animals, and your bed is one of the most heavily scented spaces in your entire home. Your scent is strongest near your torso and pillow, which sounds like the ideal spot for a cat that loves you. And yet many cats deliberately avoid that zone. Why would that be? Cat psychologists explain that the head and chest area of a sleeping human can feel exposed and vulnerable to a cat, especially if you move a lot in your sleep, snore, or shift position frequently. Your feet, on the other hand, are farther away, calmer, and more predictable. A cat sleeping near your feet can still smell you, still feel your presence, still be technically touching you without placing itself in the more chaotic zone near your face. It's closeness without risk, but that's only the beginning. There is a theory among researchers studying feline sleep behavior that goes even deeper than comfort or safety. It has to do with what your feet actually represent to a cat's brain. Think about how a cat experiences your body while you're upright during the day. Your feet are the part of you closest to the ground, the part that moves first, the part that leads you through doorways, into kitchens, toward food bowls and front doors. To a cat, your feet are associated with action, with arrival, with things happening. Sleeping near them may be your cat's way of staying alert to your first movement, positioning themselves exactly where the earliest signal of your day will happen. This connects to something wild cats do in nature. Feral and semi-feral cats often sleep near the entrances of their den, not deep inside it. Being near the exit lets them respond quickly to danger or opportunity. Some behaviorists believe that sleeping near your feet, especially if you're near the edge of the bed, mirrors this instinct. Your feet becomes their version of the den entrance, close enough to you for warmth and safety, but positioned for quick action if needed. Now here's what most owners never realize. This behavior often begins around a shift in trust, not a shift in temperature. Cats build attachment slowly, and sleep is one of the most vulnerable states an animal can enter. A cat that sleeps deeply near you is showing enormous trust. But a cat that sleeps at your feet specifically may be showing something even more specific, a kind of guardianship. Many cat owners describe a moment when their cat started sleeping near their feet, right after a stressful period, a move to a new home, a new pet in the household, even an illness. Animal behaviorists have noted that some cats seem to increase physical closeness during times when their owner seems anxious, tired, or unwell, almost as if they're monitoring you. This doesn't mean your cat magically knows you're stressed, but cats are remarkably sensitive to changes in your scent, your breathing patterns, your movement, even the rhythm of your day. A shift as subtle as coming home later than usual, or sleeping restlessly for a few nights, might be enough for your cat to reposition themselves somewhere. They can stay closer to you without directly disturbing your sleep. But here's the strange part. Some cats do the opposite. They start at your feet and slowly work their way up the bed over weeks, night by night, until eventually they're sleeping against your side or even near your pillow. Researchers see this as a kind of trust ladder. Feet first because it's low risk, then legs, then torso. If nothing bad happens each time, if you don't push them away, if the bed stays a safe and predictable place, cats often migrate closer over time. So if your cat is currently at your feet, that might not be the final stop. It might be the first stop on a much longer journey toward your side. Now something even more surprising happens. Once you consider scent memory, your feet, believe it or not, carry an incredibly distinct signature, shaped by sweat glands unique to that part of the body. Cats have a scent processing organ, sometimes called the vomeronasal organ, that lets them analyze smells with far more nuance than we ever could. Some experts think a cat sleeping near your feet may actually be engaging in a subtle form of scent-marking behavior, rubbing their body against that specific area, absorbing your scent while depositing their own. Over time, this becomes a two-way exchange, a quiet ritual that reinforces the bond between you, night after night, without either of you consciously noticing it. This is where the story becomes less about location and more about relationship. Imagine your cat, for a moment, not as a pet choosing a cozy spot, but as an animal making a calculated decision every single night about where safety, warmth, scent, and connection intersect. Your feet just happen to be the answer to all four questions at once. That's not random, that's remarkably intentional. Of course, not every explanation here is emotional. Sometimes the answer is simpler, and it's important to pay attention to that too, if your cat suddenly starts sleeping at your feet. And this is a brand new pattern, especially in an older cat. It's worth noticing if anything else has changed. Cats experiencing joint discomfort sometimes avoid jumping onto higher surfaces like pillows or headboards, choosing lower, easier to reach spots instead. A sudden new preference for sleeping near your feet, paired with reluctance to jump, changes in appetite, or unusual vocalizing, is worth mentioning to a veterinarian, just to rule out anything physical going on beneath the surface. But in most cases, this isn't a warning sign at all. It's the opposite. It's one of the clearest, quietest forms of affection a cat can offer. Cats don't say, "I love you," the way we do. They don't wag their tails or lean in for hugs. Instead, they choose proximity. They choose vulnerability in the form of sleep, positioned exactly where they feel safest and most connected to you. So tonight, when your cat curls up against your feet again, notice the details. Notice whether they're touching you directly or just close enough to feel your warmth. Notice which side of the bed they choose. Notice if they've slowly been creeping closer over the past few weeks. Every one of those tiny choices is information, a small piece of a much larger, wordless conversation your cat has been having with you the entire time. Cats have been sleeping near humans for thousands of years, adapting their instincts to fit into our homes, our beds, our lives. And somewhere in that long, quiet history, sleeping near your feet became one of the most honest signals a cat can give you. Not a coincidence, not simple comfort, a small, deliberate act of trust, repeated every single night right where you'd least expect to look for it. If your cat has been sleeping near your feet lately, tell me about it, because chances are the story behind it says more about the two of you than you ever realized. And if this changed the way you'll look at your cat tonight, you know exactly what to do before you turn off the lights.